different than my usual tone in how I come to y'all because this is a time of crisis. I was not going live today. I was going to wait until tomorrow to share this message, but America doesn't deserve Black women. And this is a direct response to the Amanda Seales, Shannon Sharpe interview. I am fond of Amanda. She's brilliant. She's intellectual. She's creative. She's dynamic. She's outspoken. She's a critical thinker. She's a scholar. And I've always been fond of her. And it was another reiteration of the fact that America doesn't deserve Black women. Now, this is not for all the Black women, okay? And if you are a Black woman that wants to stick around and fight for America, well, you're not going to enjoy this. So go ahead and X out the live. In fact, you can go ahead and unfollow me because I am not here to celebrate Black women fighting. I'm here to celebrate Black women living. And there is an extreme difference. And this, again, isn't for all the Black women. It's not for the women who want to do the sexy red and pierce their infant baby nose. I mean, what is happening? Who want to endow their bodies in ink, who want to, cover their body, debilitate their bodies, cutting, injecting. This is not for you. These are for the women that want to embody the divine feminine, that recognize their power, that may be feeling a bit stuck, but have done the work to understand their power, have done some healing work, have begun that healing work, have done, the intellectual work, that have ascended through curriculum, through corporate to achieve a level of accomplishment and success, but still end up dealing with the foolishness. America doesn't deserve you, Black women. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Yesterday in the live, I covered how you uncover your purpose. And you do this by tapping into your creativity. As if you were, for my Christians, for my Muslims, our source from God has taught us that we are closest to God. We are in our energy, our God-like energy, when we are creating. Not when we're doing, not when we're working, not when we're seeking approval, not when we're striving, not when we're fighting, when we are being, right? When we are creating. That is when we are in our divinity. That is when we are truly in our embodiment of womanhood. And it was really challenging at first, right, watching Amanda's interview, because I connected with her so many ways. She was an overachiever. She was a scholar at a very young age. And even as she entered into the space with Shannon Sharpe, she spoke on how she felt the need to seek his approval just through her actions, having to show him that she valued his, she valued being there, that she was just grateful to be there. And this is something that we do as Black women, especially when we are overachievers. We will come into a space, some kind of minimizing ourselves or seeking the validation, seeking approval, because we're taught that taking up space in our authenticity is a problem. And she shared her story. She shared how her being in her authenticity has negatively impacted her personally, her career, her relationships, and all of the above. And so the reason why I think she shared how she felt seen was because women are validating her experience in front of a man who was essentially questioning her experience, trying to get her to minimize her experience, and also, giving her little jabs, right? Giving her these little jabs that ultimately we experience, and we call them microaggressions. And Black women, intellectuals, career achievers, high achievers, women that are having these, that are, we're making accomplishments, we're socially affluent, we are making six figures in our career, we have the things, right? We're constantly dealing with this scrutiny and the need to feel small, or the need to minimize ourselves in these spaces. And America doesn't deserve you. She talked about how, dating men and being in relationship with men and having a desire to get them to get passports, to explore the world, and just some of the challenges that she's experienced. And while I'm not saying she's perfect, there's always room for improvement. There's always room for improvement with self. There's room for improvement with all of us, right? But when you find yourself constantly coming against scrutiny, and people want to talk about, if everyone has an issue with you, likely you're the problem. Well, or likely your environment is the problem. When your critical thinking, when your questioning of power, when you're operating at an intellectual level that is incomprehensible to most, your environment is likely the issue, not you. Now, not to say that you don't have room for growth, because the reality is the environment is containing you so much that you can't even blossom into the true woman that you are meant to be. And so she talked a little bit about, her lack of desire, of not wanting children and family, and I'm not, that's a whole nother conversation. We could dive deep into that if you'd like to, but I saw so many issues with the environment that she's in. Hollywood, America doesn't want you to thrive. America doesn't want you to think. America doesn't want you to question. America doesn't want you to assess. America doesn't want you to thrive and grow, because that is not the structure in which it was founded, created, and sustained. And for these women in the comments, you want to come in my comments talking about, I'm going to fight for my country, unless you're at one of these encampments on one of these campuses fighting an act of genocide that is happening and being funded by the US, you are not fighting. You're coping. And at the end of this election, when it shows all of the Black women that have voted for the party that is consistently committed to your demise, and something happens, y'all gonna say it, you're gonna send the memes and the tweets that America doesn't deserve you. But I'm telling you, months before the election, months before the inauguration, much before the controversy, America doesn't deserve you, Black woman. And life is about living, not about surviving, not about fighting. I could relate a lot when Amanda spoke about being on the spectrum, right? And having the need for information, and that is, in my opinion, not saying, that I'm not self-diagnosing but I'm saying there's a lack of safety and security. And when you feel a lack of safety and security in an environment, that is your body telling you, this is not good for me. And it's wild, because I've watched Amanda over the last couple of years. I listened to her when I lived in the US, and I feel like she's going to give herself a heart attack fighting for people that don't want to be saved. Okay? They done already told us, Project Pat done already said it. In the words of the great lyricist, Project Pat, they don't want to be saved. So don't save them, but save yourself, so that you can ultimately save others and save more. And I look at Amanda, and she is so talented and she is so brilliant. Like so many of my friends and colleagues and sisters, in attempting to rationalize through therapy, through cocktails, through, marijuana, attempting to rationalize what is happening around us while minimizing our inner truth and our ability to trust ourselves. We're not only sacrificing ourselves, we're sacrificing our children and our future legacy in an attempt to say that we're gonna get it done. We will prevail. Oh, but we can. We can literally prevail in ease. With ease, we can prevail. We can use our retreat as our revolt. Because if we really think about it, America never really wanted us there in the first place. At least the liberated versions of us. The liberated versions of us are a threat to the society and to the structure that it exists. It's why we're being removed. It's why we've been removed from history in certain states. Our books are being taken off the shelves. And the representation of us continues to be degraded more and more every day. Our beauty continues to be rationalized and minimized and diluted, right? Through lace fronts, lashes, and such, right? I told y'all this is going to be a different life today. This is going to be a different energy because America doesn't deserve you. And I'm heartbroken watching my friends and colleagues and sisters fight a fight that isn't your fight, right? Because in your divine feminine, in who you were meant to be, in your creation, that is not what we've been ordered to do. That is not why we are here. We're not here to fight. We're here to be. We're here to create. We're here to nurture. Well, I'm going to bring up the lace fronts because that's a whole, the way that hair got to your head was through another woman's plight, through another woman's sacrifice, through another woman's distress. She took her hair from her body in its moment of distress so that you could stick it onto your head and clear your connection to the creator. Okay? So, being is who we've been called to be. We've been called to be, to nurture, to create. And without that, in the absence of that, everything else is nonsense. So we'll continue to come up against conflict. We'll continue to come up against resistance because we're not in divine alignment with who we are, who we're meant to be, and how we're meant to be during this time. Our days are numbered here. Everyone's walking around like we have 1,000,000 years to go. Every single day, a Black woman is dying from chronic stress, from fibroids, from cancer, because of stress, because of being in an environment that is not in her best interest, that is not committed to her growth, to her safety, to her security, but to her destruction. Right? And so we have to criticize and critically analyze our environment because we'll continue to come up against that resistance. And Amanda was just a reminder of the reason why we're committed to this work. Activating Womanhood is a love project. It's a love project, a passion project between my dada, Naila, Mama Jahi, and I, as we've experience this transformation in our journeys of womanhood, motherhood, wifehood, because it's taken so much sacrifice, right? These aren't things that we were taught. These aren't things that most of you are taught by your mothers, by your fathers, because we've all just been taught to survive and fight the good fight, but we haven't been taught to live. We haven't been taught to thrive. We haven't been taught to seek joy and abundance over all things, right? So Activating Womanhood is it's actually a community for women that know that they're not exactly where they're meant to be. This isn't a community for empowerment, people that need to be uplifted, that need convincing. No, if you know that you're not where you have been called to be, but you have an underlying desire and you just need a level of support, a level of affirmation, a level of accountability, because you recognize that accountability is the equivalent of love. Activating Womanhood is essentially an experience that you're not going to want to miss. Even as I'm creating the curriculum right now, I'm reminded of some of the things that I need to perfect, the things that I need to work on, because yes, like it's a series. There are a series of things that we all are essentially lacking, but our mere existence and our desire to question and speak truth to power, our discomfort in environments that don't hold us safely and protect us, because we know how powerful we are and that we are meant to be covered. These are indicators, right, that we need to make some shifts, especially in this time. There is no better time than now to get in alignment with who you were created to be. There is no better time than now to tap in to your creative energy and create a serious legacy for yourself and your family. No better time than now to undo these chains of internalized racism and generational trauma, because that is a true thing. But while it's not our fault, it is our responsibility, because women today living in this current generation, we are the leadership that we're looking for. We are the change that is required for this next generation of young women. We can't simply sit back and fight for the structures that have existed before us. They continue to show us that they're not here for us, that nothing is going to change in our favor. And if we think that there is somehow a requirement of us to choose between two evils, well, you probably aren't going to enjoy this conversation or this community either, because this is about shifting generations. This is about shifting the power structure to our internal power that we all hold within. And if we're willing and we're ready to tap into that and activate that, I'm telling you, it's endless. It's endless. The possibilities are endless. So I'm going through Royal Vibes Entertainment. Thank you so much. You're ready to leave ASAP. Where do you desire to go? We can get a couple questions answered. I already had dinner, so it's great. But I'm definitely ready to just chill. It's almost 9 p.m. here in South Africa, but I would love to answer a couple of your questions. If you have an interest in learning more about Activating Womanhood, the link is in my stories. Head over to the story and you can learn a little bit more information on it as well. Herberry Green, she says she's relocating in the next few months. Absolutely. Absolutely. Love to hear that. Love to hear that. Love to hear that. Any questions? Mic drop. Yes, charity starts at home. I don't know what you mean by that, Yuhana. But yes, it's not even charity, right? It is just in our being, right? And doing that work internally. Benevolent Builder asks, is it Amanda Seals? Yes, I was speaking about Amanda. Yep. No, they don't. We need to be where we are accepted and where we're treated best. Tamuti Travel, where we are treated best. We deserve royal treatment. We deserve peace. We deserve ease. We deserve to be environments that value us. And I don't care who you are in America, but if you feel valued by your country, use a lie. I said it. We are everything in Africa, but some people try to show us the opposite. Yeah, I mean, they lied. They lied to us. They've been lying to us. Yes, we need healing. We need solidarity of the African Union between man and woman. Absolutely. Our future depends on it. We need each other. And also, if you're looking and you're also working through how to attract your divine partner, you're also going to really enjoy the Womanhood, Activating Womanhood challenge, because we go through that. We go through the process of how you can attract your divine partner, because, spoiler alert, it starts with you. It starts with you. It starts with doing your internal work. If you are feeling that calling, get the link in my stories. We're not currently open. Enrollment is not open, but sign up for the waiting list and you'll get updates on when we will open the challenge. No, Rashida, they're not going to change. And they're not showing us any sign that they are, right? Pandering to Black women for the vote it's ridiculous. It's comedy at this point. It's comedy. Any questions? Yes, that is time to activate. Rashida asked, do I help advise on moves to North Africa? Currently, no. Morocco is definitely on my list. And I would love to travel. I have it on my list of places to travel, because there is luxury in North Africa. There is luxury in Morocco, and it is definitely on my place. I was also told that there are some energetic connections there for me. So currently, no. But yeah, we should talk and we should link, because there is a process beforehand, and I can help you in the pre-prep process, but no contacts in North Africa just as yet. But let me know where you're looking for, and I'll ask around. I'll ask some of my West Africa connects. Rashida says she's supposed to head back to work from FMLA. Ugh, I feel you. I feel you, sis. Yes, I said use a lie. Use a lie. If you think that country over there is interested in your comfort and in treating you well. Royal Vibes Entertainment. Yeah, send me a DM. Send me a DM if you have an interest in getting support for relocation, so I can help understand where your desires are to relocate, understand some of your mindset and the work that you will need to prepare. Oh, yes, I feel you, sis. And you are a perfect representation, super high performing achiever, very educated, powerful, professional, done all the things, right? I'm not, going to call out your business, but yeah, I mean, I know you. We are friends. Like, we were in this together in the social, in the social societies and the elevated societies of ATL. And it doesn't stop. It doesn't end. There is no amount of money. There is no amount of status. There is no amount of security, financial, physical in the US that is going to give you the relief of stress and peace that you are innately deserving of. It's your birthright. Naila says, what are some of the things women need to have to join the challenge? You need a phone. You're going to need some type of technology to tap into the challenge. It is accessible from your laptop, your cell phone, your desktop. It's a virtual challenge, so it's going to be online. It's going to be private. You're going to need a journal. There's a lot of preparation that will go into the challenge. So we're going to make sure that you're committed, right? You're going to have to make some commitments. There's going to be diet commitments. There's going to be time commitments. There's going to be reflection commitments, getting your support system involved. And if you don't have a support system, communicating that so we can be your support system. There is going to be a level of vulnerability required in this challenge, and vulnerability is what gets you to the next level. I cannot tell you the amount of vulnerability that I've had to uncover and that I walk with openly now, because I see the value in it. And the definition of vulnerability is opening yourself up to attack. Right? So it's a scary thing to be vulnerable. But what I've learned is it's such a valuable tool in transformation and healing, because in that vulnerability, you acquire so many spiritual gifts, including discernment of who and where you can be vulnerable. But you won't know these things when you're in an environment that is literally committed to keeping your superpowers suppressed. Right, so great question, Dada. Yuhana Elevated asks, how are you structuring land, property, sales, development, purchase? How am I structuring land, property? So not talking about that on this live, but if you have questions about structuring land, property, sales, and development, feel free to DM me and I will connect you with my real estate attorney here in South Africa, or in Tanzania if you have an interest, or in Ghana. Yep, all destinations are different. So yes, there's no similarity. Africa is a continent. Every country has its different cultures, languages, everything, right? But there are some general practices that you internally need to adopt in order to survive anywhere on the continent, right? So, yes, Rashida, mindset is so important. And thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for sharing that. You are safe here. You are safe here. And it would be an honor to support you in this transition, because it's so important and we are so deserving. And it's so hard for me to communicate in some Instagram photos and reels about the value of being in a society that values me and my children. There is something that is just so powerful about that I wish I could scream to the mountaintops. But first, I think if I could just get us all right to recognize that the desires we have, the discomfort that we have, isn't going to be cured with medication, right? And I think Amanda also talks about that, being on medication. And she talks about being suicidal. And these are symptoms of an environment that is committed to keeping us minimized and in destruction. So yeah, mindset is so important. Thank you so much for your vulnerability, Rashida. I appreciate you, sis. It's a different type of life, right, Red? Exactly. Thank you for joining. It's different. It's hard to explain. It's so hard to explain. And if you haven't experienced it, right, it's just like you don't even realize what you're missing until you experience it. And so this isn't a challenge. We're not trying to get everybody to come to the continent, right? Although there's value in it. The environment of the country of America, while I'm grateful to have had the experiences that I had, to have been educated, I just don't want to live there. And quite frankly, I don't feel like you should either. Okay? I don't feel like you should either, because that country doesn't deserve you. If you are a critical thinker, if you strive for greatness, if you are a loving, nurturing, caring person who wants to foster community and family and legacy, that's not the place for you. That's not the place for you. Janelle, the topic is up there. Yes, please catch the replay, but thank you so much for joining. Benevolent asks, I am in Johannesburg. Yes, I'm in a gated community. I feel safer than I've ever felt in the US. I am constantly doing things in this city that I would never do in America. I go into open spaces because it's just not, go to the movies. I would never go to the malls, I ordered all of my groceries in the US. I ordered clothes online. I stopped going to malls. I stopped going to festivals. I stopped going to concerts. I feel very safe. And I've never felt safer. Wonderful. Thank you all for your questions. This was great. I enjoy connecting with you. It looks like comments are frozen now, so I can't answer anymore, but thank you so much for joining the live. Listen, if you want to learn more, you want to tap in, I am saying that aphrodisiac, I'm saying it is more dangerous than South Africa. And I said what I said. I said what I said. And that's that on that. So yes, thank you so much for joining the live again. Black women, you deserve so much more. You are worthy of peace. You are worthy of protection. You are worthy of all of your heart's desires. And I'd love to support you in your journey to activating the woman that is innately in you, that is crying to be loved, held, and supported. We cannot wait to work with you. Connect with us. Get on the waiting list for the Activating Womanhood Challenge. It's definitely going to shift your life for the better. And until the next video, I'll see you soon.